There's this massive problem that pretty much every online business on the planet faces every single day. It's all those visitors who land on your site, click around for just a few seconds, and then, poof, they're gone forever. Today, we're going to break down exactly why that happens, and more importantly, what you can actually do about it.
All right, let's kick things off with a number that should honestly be a real gut punch. 97%. Yeah, that means a whopping 97 out of every 100 people who visit a typical website will leave without ever buying a thing. Just think about all the effort and money it takes to get those 100 people to your site, only for 97 of them to just walk right out the door.
So you gotta ask why, right? And our first instinct is almost always the same. Oh, I need better traffic. Or maybe my product isn't quite right. But what if that's looking at the problem from the completely wrong angle? What if it has nothing to do with your traffic or your offer, but everything to do with something much deeper, something happening inside your visitor's head? Well, here's the real culprit. It's a trust gap. Simple as that. Your visitor shows up and they're immediately skeptical. Their brain is on high alert, scanning your page for any reason to believe that you're the real deal and that this is a safe, smart choice. And when it doesn't find that proof, this powerful psychological trigger just takes over and forces them to hit the brakes.
And there's actually a name for this. It's a cognitive bias called loss aversion. And here's what it means in plain English. Our brains are hardwired to avoid getting burned far more than they are to seek a potential reward. The fear of making a mistake, losing money, wasting our time, that feeling is so much more powerful than the excitement of maybe getting a great benefit. And get this, it's not just a feeling, it's been measured. That fear of making a bad decision is about 2.5 times stronger than the desire for a potential gain. That is a huge psychological hurdle to overcome. So when faced with that kind of imbalance, what does the brain do? It defaults to the safest possible choice, do nothing. And that's why they leave. Okay, so if the problem is this deep, systemic lack of trust, the solution can't be just a random pop-up or a single testimonial you stick at the bottom of a page. That's not going to cut it. You need a system. Our source material calls this a conversion architecture, a really deliberate, thought-out way to build trust at every single point of your customer's journey. So what does a system like that even look like? Well, it's not just one thing. It's a combination of powerful tools all working together. We're talking about a whole library of different widgets, each one designed to build proof. You've got an AI engine to write really persuasive copy for you, a testing lab so you can stop guessing and start knowing what works, and of course, a playbook that's built on proven buyer psychology. All right, so let's get practical. What do these tools actually do? We're going to zoom in on a couple of real game changers inside a system like this, and we'll start with what is probably the single most powerful form of proof online today, video. Now, check this out, because this is really smart. Most tools just let you display the video testimonials you've already managed to get. But this kind of system has this brilliant live collection mode. It lets your happy customers record a new testimonial for you right there in their web browser with just a click. So you're not just showing proof, you're creating this amazing self-sustaining loop of new proof. But what about the actual words you're using? I mean, let's be honest, that can be a huge stumbling block for a lot of us. Well, imagine if you never had to guess what to write ever again. A system like this can have an AI copy generator built right in. You just tell it about your offer and boom, it writes high-impact copy for all your widgets, all based on marketing principles that are proven to work. It takes all the guesswork out of it. Okay, and this is where things get really cool. Because in today's world, it's not just about showing proof anymore. It's about making your proof smarter. The source for this explainer calls it the intelligence layer, and it's basically a set of tools that don't just show a generic message, but show the right message to the right person at exactly the right time. This intelligence layer is really built on 4 key ideas. First up, testing, so you can know for sure with actual data which headline works best. Second, smart targeting, so you can show one piece of proof to cold traffic and a totally different one to your email list. Third is performance grading, so you can see how you stack up against others in your industry. And finally, a deep psychology playbook, full of triggers you can use to drive action. Okay, that all sounds great in theory, right? But the big question is, does any of this stuff actually work in the real world? Well, let's stop talking theory and look at the numbers. Let's see what happened when real business owners put a system just like this to the test.
All right, meet Sarah. She's a course creator. And all she did was add a simple live conversion widget and import a dozen of her existing Google reviews. And get this, in just 11 days, her sales page conversion rate more than doubled. It jumped from 1.8% all the way up to 4.7%. And remember, same traffic, same price. The only thing she changed was adding that layer of trust.
So what did that actually mean for her bank account? It meant an extra $6,400 in revenue in her very first month. That's not just a percentage lift. That's real money, real impact, just from closing that trust gap. Okay, next up, Marcus. He runs an e-commerce store, and he wanted to see what that A/B testing engine could really do. So he ran a simple test on 2 different headlines at his checkout page, just for 1 week. The result? One of those headlines got a 63% higher click-through rate. As he put it, the math is embarrassingly simple. And this chart? This perfectly shows you the power of targeting. This is from Priya, who runs a membership site. You can see for cold traffic, people coming from ads, her conversion rate was just under 1%. But for her warm email list, who saw different, more tailored proof, the conversion rate was 5.8%. That's more than a 6x lift, just from being smart about who sees what. So we've seen the problem, we've seen the system, and we've seen some pretty amazing results. Now let's bring this all back to you and your website, because it's really about picking the right tools to close your own specific trust gap.
This table here kind of lays it all out. You can see how a system like this might be structured. A starter plan gives you that great foundation, all the widgets. But the real serious leverage, that comes from unlocking that intelligence layer we've been talking about. The AI, the testing, the targeting, that's the stuff that creates that incredible compounding growth over time.
So when you boil it all down, the big takeaway is really, really simple. The path to growing your business isn't always about pouring more money into ads to find more traffic. It's about doing a much, much better job of earning the trust of the visitors you already have. And that really leaves us with just one last crucial question to think about. Your next visitor is literally seconds away from clicking that back button and disappearing forever. In that critical moment of doubt, what proof are you showing them that will convince them to stay?